Yes, yes, yes. It's Raphael Dawkins, Combat Radio. And today we're looking at the Dillian Whyte situation with the WBC. That's the picture I was looking for. Okay, so the WBC, as we all know, they're at a convention this week. Where is it? In Puerto Rico somewhere? I think it's in Puerto Rico or somewhere in the Caribbean. Somewhere like that. And they've been coming up with some very interesting, what do you call it? Would you call them edicts? Rules? Decisions. Yeah. Decisions. They've arrived at some very interesting decisions down there in Cancun or wherever it is. Okay. So, we'll get into the article. Dillian Whyte will not become Deontay Wilder's mandatory until February 2021, the WBC have announced. At their convention this week, the governing body addressed the situation with the titles in each weight category and made the below statement regarding the heavyweights. And it reads, Deontay Wilder is scheduled to make a voluntary title defense on November the 23rd against the number 3 ranked Luis Ortiz. Well, for a start, what's he fighting Luis Ortiz for? What's he fighting Luis Ortiz for? How long has Dillian Whyte been mandatory before the adverse drug finding? It'd been mandatory for something like 600 days before the adverse drug finding or the whatever issues he's got going on with UCAD about something in his system. But bear in mind, they're allowing him to fight again in December. He's still free to fight. So whatever it was that was found in his system could not reasonably be believed to be performance enhancing to the extent where it would be at the detriment to an opponent. Otherwise, UCAD would be in a bad legal situation. So whatever it was that they found, or the metabolites or whatever that they found, it could not reasonably expected to be performance enhancing. Okay, so now we've gone from 600 days to what? Another year? Another year and a few months, another 12 months, another 14 months, another 15 months. 12 months, 14 months, 15 months at the soonest. Anyway, let me continue with this. So, they're saying his next is Luis Ortiz. Well, why? Okay, we've already asked that question. It's ridiculous. Nobody wants to see that fight. Nobody's clamoring for that fight. But anyway, okay, let me crack on. Dinner's in the oven. It's going to be ready soon. Okay, so the WBC also approved a rematch. So this is another rematch. But this one makes a little bit more sense. Okay. With number 2 ranked Tyson Fury of Great Britain to be held in 2020. Okay, let me get into that straight away. Okay, so when the fight was agreed with Tyson Fury was ranked somewhere like 7 in the rankings. He not long come back, that 2 low-level fight with Sepa Safiri and Francesca Pianetta, some low-level guys. He was ranked behind Dillian Whyte, so him leapfrogging Dillian Whyte, that was seen as okay, you go ahead and have the fight, you go ahead and have that fight, but after that, you get to me. That was the thinking. That was the general thought. Okay, you can leapfrog me now, but get it out of the way and fine. Get back to me. But that's not what is happening. What's happening is that the WBC are saying that Deontay Wilder will be tied up with Tyson Fury until they have completed their trilogy. That's effectively what they're saying. So the second Tyson Fury fight theoretically will be in February of next year. Of course, we know that with his eye, the chances are that's not going to be February. Although he's doing WWE now, so it makes you wonder, is there anything wrong with the eye? Is there anything really wrong with the eye? But You know, that fight's not going to be in February. I doubt it's going to go ahead in February. They're going to push that back to March, April. Yeah, I believe they're going to push that back to April. It's just my belief. Give the eye time to heal. Although he's doing WWE, so has it healed already? Whatever. So April. What's 6 months after April? That's the second fight. So the WBC are acting as if the third fight's going to happen in that same year. We know that third fight's not going to happen in that same year, but they're saying that fight's going to happen later in 2020. So we got April, May, June, July, August, September, October. So they're going on the basis, theoretically, that fight's going to happen 6 months later. The third fight's going to happen 6 months after the second fight. Second fight's probably going to be in April, the soonest, I believe. So the third fight's going to be in, according to the WBC, they're reckoning that the third fight's going to be the latter part of 2020, October. What does that leave before February? October, November, December, January, February. That leaves 4 months for whoever the winner is. Whether it be Deontay Wilder or Tyson Fury. At least 4 months for them to get ready for the for the Dilly. This is some amazing shizzle. 4 months to get ready for the Dillian Whyte fight. So, okay, let's look at this. Let's look at this now. So, if Deontay Wilder wins the second fight, there's still an argument. There's still an argument for the third fight, because that will mean that the first one was a draw. Hold on. Is there an argument for a third fight if Deontay Wilder wins the second fight? Is there, or Tyson Fury wins the second fight? Because that's 1.5 what fights won for whoever wins the second fight. So what then would be the point of the third fight? Whoever won the first fight, that's a 0.5, because they won half of a fight. Okay, fine, 0.5. Whoever wins the second fight, that's 1.5. In comparison to the loser, who will be on 0.5. Now, if the loser of the second fight wins the third fight, what's the score then? That's 1.5, 1.5. So you're still a stalemate. So each fighter will have won 1.5 fights if they fight a third time, and the person who lost the second time wins the third fight. So what the hell is the point? What will that establish? Then theoretically, to get each man from 1.5, they're going to have to fight a fourth time. This is bananas. Just be done with it already. Tyson Fury is not showing much of an inclination to want to fight the top guys. He fought Francesco Pianetta, Sefa Safiri, and then he fought Deontay Wilder. Yeah, fine, good, all good. And then he's gone back and fought Tom Schwartz, some lowly ranked heavyweight. And then after that he fought Otto Wallin, another guy who was just barely inside the top 50. So what the hell is all this messing around for, when meaningful fights could be made? Tyson Fury's off over at the WWE now. Does he even want to fight? Instead of that, he should have been, Deontay Wilder should have been fighting his number one ranked opponent all this time ago. And that is Dillian Whyte. Now we got the adverse drug finding, whatever. That's dragging through the process. It's a mess. It's a mess. It's a mess. Well, just what's the solution to this mess? There is no, well. Okay. The best suggestion I can come up with is the winner of the next fight between Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. Put a cap on it. Put a cap on it. Say it can take place no later than April, let's say. No later than April, the end of April. That's your deadline. Then the winner of that fight moves on to fight Dillian Whyte in the fall of 2020. That's the best compromise. That's the best solution. What say you? No more messing around. It's Raphael Dawkins. It's the Combat Radio. It's the like. It's the subscribe. It's the comment. It's the shares. And it is the hitting that bell icon to stay updated with news and notifications. Okay, it's Raphael Dawkins, Combat Radio, and I'm out. My dinner's ready.